Hundreds of young men in Nigeria's Borno state have formed units of civilian vigilante groups working to hunt down militants alongside the military. In doing so, the vigilantes have themselves become targets. At least 55 members in Borno state have been slaughtered by presumed Boko Haram militants over last month. The most recent attack took place on Friday outside the town of Monguno. The military, however, encourages the Civilian Joint Task Force, the JTF, and provides them with protection details for their missions, but it has stopped short of giving them guns. The General Secretary of South Africa's National Union of Mine Workers, the NUM, says members of the group will begin a strike Tuesday to express their desire for better living conditions. The General Secretary, Franz Bellini, said the strike ignited because the employers failed to respond to their demands submitted by the union. Bellini says mine employers have refused to meet with the workers' demands in spite of repeated appeals. The workers demand a 60% pay increase, but mine owners are offering between 6 to 6.5%. The government is yet to intervene in the negotiations between the management and union representatives. The Southern African Development Community, SADC, says Zimbabwe's July elections were free and credible, but allowed that some irregularities cast doubt on fairness. Tanzanian Foreign Minister Bernard Membe headed the SADC observer mission to Zimbabwe's elections, and is satisfied with how the Zimbabwean Election Commission handled the polls. Though final elections show Mugabe's victory over Shangirai, the MDCT has refused to recognize the results. The SADC observers, however, said that it was difficult to declare the elections fair due to biased reporting by state media and because the Electoral Commission failed to release the voters' roll to the contestants in the required time by the law. The SADC, however, will urge Western unions to lift sanctions imposed on Mugabe and the ZANU-PF party. A delegation of French politicians and members of parliament held a press conference on Saturday in Tunisian capital to make known their support for several lawmakers and protesters who have been calling for the downfall of the government since the assassination of the opposition in August. However, lawmakers have reacted angrily to these comments by saying that such remarks are set to lead to an escalation of anti-government protests. Analysts say French interference is part of neo-colonial ambition by destabilizing the nation and the Middle Eastern nation of Syria. Tunisian officials in the time being believe the French visit is a direct interference in the Tunisian international affairs. President Barack Obama's top diplomat and defense officials are set to testify before a Senate panel Tuesday on his request to authorize U.S. military action in Syria. Secretary of State John Kerry, Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel, and the Chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff General Martin are all due to appear before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Obama said he wants a congressional approval before launching a military strike on Syria for allegedly using chemical weapons against civilians. Senator John McCain expressed the need to weaken Syria's President Bashar al-Assad's capability while upgrading those of the rebels opposing him. Meanwhile, the UN Refugee Agency is calling for attention to a tragic outflow of people from Syria, where civil war has forced more than 2 million people to flee the country.